second part of episode 2. As I've already mentioned, as it was a lengthy one, I'm cutting into two halves. So this is the second half for it. So you can go to the problems directly. Thank you.
Our question is, a manufacturer produced 100 bats in the first year, 150 bats second year, 200 bats third year, and so on. How many bats did he produce by 21st year in total? The question is really straightforward. It is asking us to find the sum of total number of bats produced by the company by the end of 21st year. And we already got the sequence from the question itself. So when we are writing that sequence, it looks like this. So for the first year, it is 100 number of bats being produced by the company. Second year, it is 150 bats. Third year, it is 200 bats. So basically, these are the terms of the sequence. For example, this is the first term, this is the second one, this is the third term. So it is going that way. So we already got the sequence. So once we got the sequence, we know what is its A, that is the first term. We can find out the common difference. And also we know what is N, because we are asked to find out the sum until 21st year. So basically the first term A is equal to 100. Difference is 150 minus 100, or 100 subtracted from 150, which is 50, and N is equal to 21. We already know the equation for sum. We already discussed that. So it is S is equal to N by 2 into 2A plus N minus 1 into D. So we already got A, D, and N. We are just simply substituting these values into the equation. So for N, we are replacing it with 21, and for A, replacing it with 100, and for common difference, we are replacing it with 50. So upon simplification, this 2 into 100 will become 200, plus 21 minus 1, which is 20, into 50. So that's how we got this equation. And upon further simplification, what happens? This 20 into 50 will become 1000. That's what's shown here. And 200 plus 1000 means it is 1200. And there is a 2 in the denominator, and in numerator side we are having 1200. So we just cancel it off, or we just simplify it in other terms. So what happens? It will become 21 into 600, which is equal to 12,600. So if you're having any confusions regarding the simplification, just try to do it yourself. So when you're finding this 21 into 600, we'll be getting the answer as 12,600. So totally 12,600 bats were manufactured by the company by the end of 21st year in total. So that's how we got the answer of 12,600. So next question is, a manufacturer produced 600 mobile phones in the third year, 700 sets in the seventh year. Assuming that the production increases uniformly by a fixed number every year, find production in first year, 10th year, and total production in first 7 years. So if you really want to do this problem, you need to know the equation of arithmetic progression, sum of arithmetic progressions too. If you can do this problem, that means you're confident enough to start doing any problem in this chapter. And one more thing, previous questions usually used to give us the sequence. In this question, the sequence is not given. Instead, they given us two different terms and their respective values. So we have to find the sequence and the relevant factors like A and common difference from these two factors, and then we have to start solve this problem. So the first step is, we are going to convert the two important parameters given in the question into the format of arithmetic progression. We have already did a question like this before in the first episode itself. So I hope you are getting an idea regarding that. So we know that the third year value is 600, or third term is 600, which means that I can represent it as A3 is equal to 600. So for AN we can replace it with 600, and for N we can replace it with 3. So when you take a look, you can see that this is the format of the arithmetic progressions equation. N is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D. We just substituted the values we know. So this 3 minus 1 eventually become 2, which means that it is 2D. Otherwise 600 is equal to A plus 2D. This is going to be the first equation. Now our second equation comes from the second information given in the question, that is 700 sets in 7th year. So A7 is equal to 700, or in other ways we can represent 700 in position of an, and for n we have to replace it with 7 because this is talking about the 7th term. So this 7 minus 1 will become 6, and 6 into d means 60. So the equation is 700 is equal to a plus 60. You can try and solve it for your kind information. So we got two different equations. One, it is 600 is equal to a plus 2d, and 700 is equal to a plus 60. So now we need to either subtract 1 from 2 or 2 from 1. In either cases, we can see that this a will get cancelled off and it will remains the common difference term alone in the equation, so that it will be easy for us to solve the common difference and then we can find the first term. So in this case I'm going to subtract second equation from first. So upon subtraction, what happens? 700 minus 600 is going to be 100. A and A will be getting cancelled off. A minus A is equal to 0, and 60 minus 2d means it is going to be 40. In otherwise, d is equal to 100 divided by 4, which is equal to 25. So we got d as 25. Now we need to substitute this d is equal to 25 in any equation. In this case, I'm substituting it in the second equation. So 600 is equal to a plus 2 into 25. So instead of d, I'm substituting its value here, 25. So this equation will become 600 is equal to a plus 50, or otherwise a is equal to 600 minus 50, which is equal to 550. So we now got a is equal to 550. So we got the first term and also got the common difference. Now, first year mobile production, you don't have to calculate it separately. We already got the answer. It is 550 units. Now we go to the second question. So we already got certain values here. We know that A is equal to 550 and D is equal to 25. Second question, we are asked to find what is the 10th year production. So we just need to substitute these values in the equation. N is equal to A plus N minus 1 into D, which means that for A, we are going to substitute it with 550. We are asked to find the production of 10th year, so N will eventually become 10. And D, the common difference is 25. So upon simplification, this 10 minus 1 will become 9 and 25 is being carried here. So 9 into 25 is 225. So upon adding 225 with 550, you'll be getting it as 775, which means the 10th year production is 775 units. Now we need to do the last portion of this question. We are asked to find the total production in first 7 years. We already know the equation for sum, that is S is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. We already know many other parameters. For n, we have to replace it with 7 because we are asked to find the total production up to 7th year. Now, for the case of A, we need to substitute it with 550 because we already find A as 550. So we just substitute it over here. 2a plus n minus 1 into d. So for n, we are again replacing it with 7, and for d, we are again replacing it with 25. So upon simplification, this 7 by 2 into 550 means 1100 plus 7 minus 1 means it is 6 into 25. Upon further simplification, S is equal to 7 by 2 into 1100, and the 6 into 25 is equal to 150. So upon adding this 1100 plus 150, you will get the answer as 1250. So 7 by 2 into 1250. So we are having value 2 at denominator and 1250 at the numerator. So we try to simplify. So it will be ending up it as 7 into 625, which is equal to 4375, which means that totally within the first 7 years of production, they made 4375 sets of mobile. So that's how we got that answer. So if you're having any confusion regarding the simplification, try to do it yourself. Most probably you're going to find the answer. And if you're finding it difficult, then come and see the video so you'll be able to get a real good idea on where did you make some mistake. Now, we are going to do the same question, I mean this third part itself, in a different way. We already talked about the simplified equation for sum. So if we know n first term and last term, we can find out this. So n, we know that it is 7 because we are going to find out the total production up to 7th year. So n is 7. And we know about the first term, which is 550. Okay, we already find it out on the first part. Now, the 7th year's production has been given in the question. So you don't have to find it separately. We already got that factor. So just write it down directly. So upon simplifying this, you'll be getting the sums equation and you'll be able to get the sum. So 7 by 2 into 550 plus 700 means 1250. Again, we are having 2 at the denominator and 1250 at the numerator. So upon simplification, it will turn to be 7 into 625, which is equal to 4375. Again, we got that same answer. So this is how we are coming to the conclusion. Okay, so if you're having any doubt, try to go back to this video and try to see it again so you'll be getting a good idea. Last question is, find the sum of even numbers from 1 to 100. So first we need to consider the numbers from 1 to 100. So upon considering the numbers, we can see that the even numbers are 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and it goes all the way up to 100. So the sequence we are looking for is actually the one which I've colored in blue color, which means that it is 2, 4, 6, 8 and go all the way until 100. So this is our last term and this is our first term. Now we know that the equation of sum, I've already talked about it. So we got two equations for sum. But there is one common factor we need to know even if you are applying any of the equation. In first equation, we know that s is equal to n by 2 into 2a plus n minus 1 into d. And the second equation also, we know that s is equal to n by 2 into a plus an. So there is one common parameter you need to know before you proceed with the equation of sum. That factor is called as n, which means that in this case probably you will be finding it easy to find a and common difference from this sequence directly, but we need to know which term yields the value 100, or otherwise we need to know what is the n. Without finding n, we will not be able to proceed to do the sum of arithmetic progression in this case. So we are going to find out the n. That is going to be our first task. We know the equation of arithmetic progression. It is n is equal to a plus n minus 1 into d. And we know a is equal to 2. First term it is 2. And common difference it is 2 again. Why? Because subtracting 2 from 4 will get you 2 again. And n is the last term, which is 100. So you can see that. So substituting all these values in this equation will get you n is replaced by 100, a is replaced by 2, and d is replaced by 2 again. But we don't know n. When you are simplifying it, 2 goes inside the bracket, so it is 2n minus 2. So 100 is equal to 2 plus 2n minus 2. Now what happens? This minus 2 and this 2 get cancelled off, which means that you'll be getting it as 100 is equal to 2n. That is n is equal to 100 divided by 2. That is n is equal to 50. So we got the n value right now, which means that the term 50 is equal to 100, or 100th value is being yielded by the 50th term. So we got the n value over here. Now we can directly substitute the simplified equation for sum of arithmetic progression. That is s is equal to n by 2 into a plus l, because we know the first term here, we know the last term here 100, and we know the n value also. So just substitute those values, which means that for n you are substituting it with 50. So it is 50 by 2 into 2. This has been replaced by the value of a, and for last term it is 100. So 2 plus 100, it is going to be 102, and 50 by 2 will become 25. So this is 25 into 102, which means that it is equal to 2550. So again, I'm saying, if you're having any calculation, pause the video, try to do it yourself, then take a look on the video again to make sure the steps you have gone through is correct or not. Now I'm going to ask you the same question a little bit tilted. So you have to be very careful with the question is being asked, the question asking to you. Find the sum of even numbers between 1 to 100. I'm sorry, my video is right here, so you cannot see that 100 clearly. So it is asking for the sum of even numbers between 1 to 100. Okay. So in this question, you have to keep in your mind that they are specifically asking for the sum of even numbers between 1 to 100, which means that we should not consider 1, and also we should not consider 100 also, because they are specifically asking in between 1 and 100. So 1 and 100 is not included, so you have to take it off, which means that the first term is still, it is 2 itself, it's not been changed, but the last term is not 100, because they're specifically asking for the sum of even numbers between 1 to 100. So which means that the last term within the sequence.
So what I'm coming to say is that, so if you're asked to find the sum of even numbers between 1 to 100, you should only consider the numbers between 1 to 100. Specifically, it is asking for the numbers between 1 to 100, which means that the first term you should start considering starts from 2 and ends at 99, which means that the first term that is an even number within this 1 to 100 is actually 2. So it starts from 2, 4, 6, going all the way up to 98, because 99 is not an even number and 100 is not considered 2. So 98 is the last term within this sequence. So once you got that idea, you can do this problem. Okay, so keep in your mind about this idea and start doing it, and you will definitely get the answer. And I believe you like the content which I have teach to you in this episode. And if you find it helpful, definitely share among your friends. Obviously like, subscribe and share, so that I can get more support, so that it will be a real good motivation for me to do more episodes on different topics. So thank you so much for listening. Have a nice day. See you in the next episode. Bye.